Uh, I hate cystic fibrosis, but what can I do?
Mohamed is the father of two children. His 13-year-old son has CF.
I learned many things in this session about foods, about doses of medicine, about what they can eat, when many information useful in this session.
And how is your son doing? What's he been through?
My son is 13 years old. I do transplantation, liver transplantation from 5 years, and he is perfect, fine.
So he's doing well with the medication?
I care about him so much. The medicine is good. I found the medicine, it's okay.
Doctors also had a couple of education days to learn more about enzymes, vitamins, and CF nutrition. Dr. Maggie Naguib is the professor of pediatrics at Cairo University, and she was first to diagnose hundreds of patients after Dr. Nasser completed a study and published it in the Journal of Cystic Fibrosis in 2007. She explains the biggest challenges that doctors face.
I think the biggest challenge is to diagnose a patient with CF. CF is not widely recognized in Egypt as a disease, and a lot of the patients and the families, and even sometimes the doctors, will not recognize that this is a case of cystic fibrosis. But more and more we are getting places for diagnosis, we're getting awareness, we're getting the word out there. So we're getting more and more patients who are diagnosed.
There are many challenges for CF families in Egypt. One is that most of the information on the internet is in English and not everyone is proficient in English. The other is the availability of drugs. Families don't have some of the basics like CF vests, and they just recently started getting enzymes and vitamins from the Ministry of Health. But there are also challenges.
Well, the enzymes for a long time they were not available for patients except as an incidental thing. So maybe a family will have somebody abroad send them their treatment or be available in a pharmacy, but not regularly. Like sometimes they'll find it and sometimes they're not. But more recently we're having a more consistent and steady supply of enzymes, though there may be sometimes some supply gaps, so the patient would be on the enzymes for a while, and then they would have a period of time where maybe there's an import issues, especially with COVID and all of this, that the treatment is not available all the time. So maybe they will have some gaps in treatment.
CF families in Egypt are now beginning to advocate for their care and medications. Dr. Samia Nasser at the University of Michigan Pediatric Pulmonology Clinic has worked tirelessly to raise awareness and is continuing to work to get the Ministry of Health to better understand the needs of the disease. She is hoping that they can organize distribution of medications so they don't have to rely on donations because it's just not sustainable. I was able to get CF Vests for Life to donate 2 vests to the doctors in Egypt, and I donated my daughter's pediatric vests to Dr. Iman Fauda. It's wonderful to be able to bring this to the United States and have it be your first vests. And Dr. Fauda, what is this going to mean for patients here in Egypt?
First, welcome in Egypt, and thank you very much for this valuable gift. Actually, it will mean a lot for our patients. You know that this vest will help the patient to get rid of all their very thick secretions which impair their lung functions and cause too much infection for them. Actually, we don't have this machine in Egypt, so it will be valuable in our clinic. We are following up more than 150 cases with severe pulmonary involvement. They need this machine actually, and I think this will change their chest problem and will help them.
Dr. Fauda and her team at Ann Shames University are working with Dr. Nasser to develop a treatment protocol for cystic fibrosis that will be adopted by other universities in Egypt. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and the Middle Eastern CF Association, or MECFA, are supporting Dr. Nasser in Egypt. They're donating 4 sweat test machines to 4 universities. They've done this in the last 2 years, and they continue to support Dr. Nasser's efforts.
وعلى العلاج الطبيعي فده مهم جدا فالدواء ده يجي وقت ما يجي، بس دلوقتي الولاد نعمل فيهم ايه؟ لازم التغذيه مهمه جدا.